Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program, Capital Beat. The worsening air quality in Delhi prompted many people to stage a protest last evening at India Gate with protesters, including parents and environmental activists. Now, many of the protesters were mothers who were accompanied by children. They said that they had gathered to demand urgent government action to ensure clean air in the national capital. And they all said that we wanted to meet the elected officials. We had sought an appointment with the chief minister, but were refused. So many parents were present at the India Gate whose children were suffering. And they even said that every third child had damaged lungs, and which is why they urgently demanded some action. Now, look at these pictures which are coming straight from the India Gate, the protest which happened last evening. Now, these were silent protesters who were demanding the basic fundamental requirement of life, and that is clean air and right to breathe. This is a basic fundamental question which everyone asks for. But here you have a government, here you have an administration which is completely indifferent, completely apathetic towards issues like these. Now, look at the slogans. It's a quiet and peaceful protest, but what happened towards the end of the protest? Uh, the protesters were detained, and amongst the protesters were young children, their mothers. They all were detained by the police. And so the big question we are asking is that why is it that the political class is different to an issue like pollution? Uh, so we'll try and answer these questions. And of course, not to miss that this particular year, what are the things which have been completely missing? Health advisories are missing. GRAP 3 and GRAP 4 measures, which were supposed to be imposed, they have not been imposed so far. Uh, every year we go to the hearings in the Supreme Court or in some court or the other, but is anything being done for the polluted air? So we'll try and discuss all these issues. Joining me this evening is Anil Sood. He is a renowned activist who's been working for decades and decades for clean air and pollution-related issues. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. We have Saurav Das, who's an investigative journalist who was part of the protest yesterday, and he's been associated with various environment issues as well. Thank you so much, Saurav, for joining. And we have Aranya Shankar, a senior journalist with the Federal. Thank you so much, Aranya, for joining. And I'll begin with Saurav Das because he was present there at India Gate yesterday. Saurav, what would you really say to the basic requirement of life? Now, people at that protest were asking for clean air. They were asking for right to breathe. They had booklets of constitution in their hand, but even then they ended up being detained. And amongst the detainees were little children, young girls, young mothers. Yes, Saurav.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even the call for protest at India Gate was a symbol of resistance from many citizens groups in Delhi who had actually, got together and said that they wanted to protest and convey their frustration at the administration for the complete apathy that they have shown towards air pollution, especially during this winter. So a lot of people gathered, or there was a gathering of almost 500 people that had come. And the police actually sort of used unnecessary force, manhandled some of these protesters, and actually whisked away many of these women from the protest by detaining them post 6 p.m. and took them all the way to the Delhi border, and then subsequently released all the detainees. But this sort of high-handedness shows that there is really no space for democratic, peaceful dissent in India anymore, especially in Delhi. If you remember, India Gate used to be the place where everybody used to congregate on matters of public importance. There was the 2012 gang rape protest that had happened there. The restless protests had happened there. But over the past few years, they cordoned off the area and said that you go to Jantar Mantar, which is in some part of New Delhi district where nobody gives two hoots about what is going on, and go and protest there. So and this too after applying for permission to the police and 10 days in advance. So, they ask people to go and agitate their demands in some other location without actually, being seen in a place like India Gate, where everybody, the entirety of India, Delhi, international press is present and watching these protesters. They don't allow that. So yesterday was the protest where people went and said that they have had enough of this apathy from the government and presented their demands before everybody.
Right, but I also want to know that you all have been trying to meet with Chief Minister Rekha Gupta for quite some time. I'm told, like, I was speaking to a few numbers which I got from Delhi warrior groups and the mothers who are very, very active on these issues. And they have been saying that they have been trying to meet up with the Chief Minister for quite some time, but they weren't given any hearing. And the reason is obvious that it seems that they were also busy with the elections, that pollution doesn't become a priority for them at all. Saurabh. Saurav, are you there? Oh, I think Saurav's frame is frozen. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, Saurav.
I didn't get the whole question, but I understand the gist of it.
Yes.
Yes, a group of mothers, young mothers with their children, wanted to meet the chief minister, and they had, sent their request multiple times, and not just during the campaigning phase of Bihar, but even before that, in September, even in subsequent months after and months before. But then every time the communication from our office was that Madam is busy with official engagements. Now, what other official engagement is as pressing as the issue of air pollution, which is a public health emergency in the national capital? So they have failed to meet the chief minister. The people have sent the chief minister, but she doesn't have 15 minutes. They only asked for 15 minutes of time to meet her. And the chief minister is missing, the health minister of India is missing, the environment minister of India is missing. So when no authority wants to meet you, where people can't go and convey their frustration and ask for some solid action on an issue like this, which has been going on for more than a decade now, subsequent governments have failed. It's not a Delhi specific problem. Delhi is a 2%. The area of Delhi in North India is just 2%. It's a North India problem. So it's the central government which has to take the lead. But if the authorities are not willing to listen, where will they go? They definitely won't go to Jantar Mantar, where nobody will look at them. So everybody decided that they should then move to India Gate and present their demands there.
Right. Okay, I'll come to Mr. Anil Sood. Mr. Anil Sood, I remember in my initial years of my career, that is like 25 years ago almost, I started my reporting with, talking about these issues, and you were the one who brought up these issues in great detail. 25 years down the line, I don't think anything has changed in terms of the response mechanism, in terms of the attitude of the government, in terms of the mindset of the people who are handling. What is really wrong? I really want to understand if grab 3, grab 4 measures have not been introduced this time. Basic health advisories are missing. What does it really go to show? You'll have to unmute yourself. Mr. Sood, unmute yourself, please. Yeah.
Yeah. For donkey's years, we had been, I must say, betting on a wrong horse. Situation has gone from bad to worse. There were at times people used to listen or lend their ear. Bureaucracy also was little sensitive, not much, but little sensitive. Even courts were also to some extent were sensitive to this issue. Of late, everybody has become insensitive, starting from I don't appreciate behavior of Arvind Kejriwal, who rode to power with a lot of promises. Even he deceived the people, he cheated the people, he did not honor his promises. He never had time to beat those who supported him. So far as pollution is concerned, you are absolutely right. Nobody wants to take any action at any stage, at any level, in any office. And unfortunate part is that Today, you can buy any report from any IIT. I'm sorry to say. IIT Kanpur gave a doctored, tailor made report in 2015 on Delhi's pollution by cars. Now, recently, it gave a project report of cloud seeding. I am surprised, I am shocked. When they knew that cloud seeding requires particular humidity level in the clouds, why did they start? It's not that we were dealing with novices. In 2022, I sought for an appointment from Bhupender Yadavji, our Union Minister for Environment and Forest, supplying his office complete data that how data is being manipulated, that too by central agencies. I never got appointment. I tried to speak with the Delhi politicians, never got appointment because the bureaucracy which is tampering with the data will never hear, will never give time to us. So unfortunately, right from 2014 onwards, when government at center changed, government at Delhi changed, things have gone from really bad. Today, Grab 2 is in place. So I wrote to CAQF, I tweeted them also that while introducing Grab 2, have you enforced point number 7 and 9? Point number 7 says that congestion and encroachments from roads should be removed. You go to any police out, you see outside any police station, you see outside any government department office in Delhi, one or two lanes are occupied by those police stations and government offices. Why citizens do not deserve better roads even without Grab 2? Now, point number 7 says you have to augment public transport. That we had been saying since 2007 when Delhi required about 11,000 buses. Today, Delhi requires about 17,000 buses. That time also Delhi had about 5,000 buses. And today also Delhi has not about 5,000 total buses, out of which quite a few buses are given to police and a few buses are given to schools. Yesterday's incident has really shocked me. In Gandhi's nation, where Satyagraha was the norm, and that too for demanding your fundamental right, and that too asking government to perform its duty under Article 51A. The peaceful protest, rather not even protest, peaceful gathering with placards was treated like criminals. How can you do it? How can you pick up ladies from India Gate and drop them somewhere at Narela? How can you take kids in custody? See, it's something shocking. The police mindset continues. Earlier, it was British mindset, which was governing police. Now it is brown British mindset, which is controlling police. Where have we reached? Where are we heading to? What we want to do? Maximum cases of cancer, nobody has assessed. Our two union ministers had audacity to say in parliament that deaths due to pollutions are not verifiable. There is no link between pollution and deaths. They have gone nuts. There are studies, doctors are stating, doctors are making statements, there are researches. What these people want to do? Sit there in comfortable homes with air purifiers, sit in their offices with air purifiers. Would they carry air purifiers on their back? 3 years ago, I got information under RTI. Rashtrapati Bhavan has purchased air purifiers worth about 16 lakhs. Every government office has air purifier, but there is no record from where it has been purchased. I tried to get information under RTI from quite a few departments, but no record. What is this going on? Whose money is that? Whose life is that? All these people, they are sitting in their comfortable offices, getting their salaries and perks. Who pays for that? You and me. And we don't appear in any of the priority list. Why? So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
we are heading for a disaster. Daily, I monitor the AQI level in the morning. I have AQI monitor installed at home also, and I daily download the data at about 5:30 to 6 p.m. Can you believe? Nobody is telling you truth. What are the reasons of pollution? Lieutenant Governor yesterday, I think somewhere he stated 74% pollution is local. I say 100% pollution is local. Which is the industry in Shreveport area or RK Puram?
Hmm.
Why
True.
these areas are competing with Anand Vihar and Mundka in terms of pollution? What happens is in the evening when the sunset starts, the surface areas starts getting cooler. The way in summer it happens, in summer it becomes heat island. Day and night temperature is there is hardly any difference. In winter, the temperature starts reducing and surface area gets colder faster than any other. So what happens? The vertical uplift force of air is virtually zero. Wind is also stagnant. Now, in stagnated wind and without any virtual uplifting force, how pollution can travel from Punjab to Delhi without polluting any city en route? Now, what does this mean? The entire pollution is localized, which emanates from industry, eateries, hotels, or restaurants, or gensets, and the thermal power plants pollution, which travels around 300 square kilometers all around, which comes down from upper atmosphere, not even the atmosphere, upper atmosphere, because of its weight. Then, second is the pollution from aviation. Ministry of Environment and Forest has accepted and released a manual that maximum air and noise pollution is within 10-kilometer radius of airport. Since 2020, I am pursuing this matter of aviation pollution. Delhi High Court directed the CPCB and DPCC to treat my PIL as a representation and give a suitable response.
Yeah.
It took 5 years for
So
DPCC, just last one. It
yes.
took 5 years CPCB to respond to the representation, which carried a letter from CPCB to CSIR NERI saying that you have to refute and rebut the issue that aviation pollutes Delhi. What more shocking you can expect from central government?
No, but the point is, and I'm coming to that point, that you have a central government, you have a Delhi government, you have a health ministry, you have an environment ministry, but all these ministries, it seems, are totally, totally different to this basic issue of pollution, the basic fundamental issue of clean air. Aranya, I'll come to you now. Uh, what have you gathered from the authorities? Why this year especially? Not that the yesteryears were very rosy or Arvind Kejriwal did anything better, but this year, why is it that it's completely off the radar, of the elected officials? that one has to tackle pollution. Why does it seem like that? Because we have kids who are young kids going to school. They have not been issued any advisories. I haven't seen any health advisory in any newspaper. Of course, the grab 4 and grab 5 measures haven't been imposed at all. Why is it that says so much of indifference is visible this year?
I would think, or at least as of now, what we can gather from the way the government has reacted to this is that I think they are too busy kind of managing their perception, and all of their energies are being spent in trying to prove that they are better than the previous government.
Yeah.
And I think they are miserably failing even at that. But the kind of measures that, or the measures they are claiming are measures they've taken are so half-hearted and only for to get a headline in a newspaper that this is what is happening. I would think that, in fact, it's interesting that you asked me that, because yesterday night itself, the Delhi's environment minister, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, right after the protest, when everybody was detained and so many hundreds of people had come onto the streets, he issued a statement on Delhi's AQI, except it was not a statement on the AQI at all. The entire his whole entire statement was about how the AAP government has failed in the last 10 years, and how they are the ones who had put these air quality monitoring stations in places near where there was already greenery and trees, and now they are attacking us. It's actually them who are to blame. And he has been giving these kind of statements repeatedly. Earlier also, when the Congress had, Rahul Gandhi had raised this question as to why Delhi's air is so, his response was to say this has happened in the last 25 years. Now that may be the case, but we can very clearly see that there is a attempt to show that the
No, but
BJP
Aranya,
government.
you are right that they are more involved and more, I mean, they're busier in tackling the perception battle. And which is why we saw Rekha Gupta recently during the Chhat Puja celebrations. She was focusing so much on the Yamuna cleaning. And we had all the mainstream channels going and showing that, oh, this year the Yamuna is cleaner. But why not when it comes to tackling the air pollution?
Why not? Sorry, I didn't understand. Why not what? Why are
Why
they
not?
not showing?
Yes, why are they not showing the same alacrity and briskness when it comes to tackling air pollution? They were
No,
focusing
so
so much on Yamuna pollution because it involved so much of optics.
according to them, they are. This artificial rain trial in which they spent crores of rupees, they tried very hard to prove that it was a success, even though nobody saw any rain. But they said that there was rain in Noida and Greater Noida. At one point, Sirsa ji was trying to install these sprinklers and smog towers, water sprinklers in parks. So, and they've said we've all seen videos of these sprinklers going off near the air quality monitoring station. So according to them, they are trying to say that, look, we are doing so much, and we are doing, and one thing they've constantly going on saying these days is that the air is much cleaner. This year the air is much cleaner than it has been in the last 25 years. So according to them, that's a victory for them.
Numbers say a totally different story. The air is much cleaner according to our politicians, but the parameters and the numbers say a totally different story altogether.
Yeah, like they think staggered office timings is a solution. So
Right.
that is where they are heading.
Okay. So I'll come to Saurav now, and then again back to Mr. Sood for the concluding comments. So Saurav, uh, are we going to just see a one-day protest like what happened yesterday, or you all are planning to have a sustained protest like this? How do you? I mean, how are you going to carry forward a movement like this? Because it does need a movement, and it's been so many decades, and the politicians still are so indifferent. You can't call it environment illiteracy, but it's complete indifference and nonchalance to an issue like pollution. So, what are you going to do now in the coming weeks or in the coming months? Because this is a yearly phenomenon, and that, of course, that's according to the mindset of the politicians, that this is a yearly phenomena. It comes only during winters when the smog and the fog is visible, but the rest of the year the air is very clean.
Yeah, I think, of course, this is not going to be the only protest, but because it's not there's no magic wand solution to this. And pollution is not really just a winter phenomena. Of course, the perceptive the threat is very perceivable during winters because of the thick blanket of smog that people can see. But it's a year-long phenomena, right? It happens. Our AQI in Delhi is always 150 plus 200, even during summers and otherwise. So I think, like you said, there needs to be a sustained movement. People like Anil ji have already done so much, and I'm sure more people are joining him also. So I think all these citizen groups, which are based in Delhi and have been working on this for years together, will all put our heads together and see what we can do next. Be it moving the courts, or be it pressurizing the administration via flooding them via RTIs or whatever else we can do, or even to have to stage such protests in the future if nothing works out. All options are open, but everything the authorities must note will be done democratically and peacefully, as the constitution permits us to do it. And immediately, I think the demands that every protester had yesterday was that the government, first of all, should stop fudging AQI numbers. You have not issued a health advisory. Something as basic as that has not been done. So at least let people get the real numbers and decide how to take care of their health, whether to stay indoors or go outdoors, and what to do with their children. So that's like the very first demand that everybody had. Number two, impose grab measures, something better than nothing, right? And also to recalibrate them, to bring those thresholds down, because you can't have grab 3 or 4 stage imposed only when the AQI crosses 400, 500, 700 mark. You need it at an earlier stage as well, but that is not being done. And then we want them to work. At least the central government should be steering this protest, this fight against air pollution with all the North Indian states, because it's not just a Delhi phenomena, right? So what about pollution in other states? The central government needs to take a lead. There needs to be some visionary leader has to come up and take this fight, because large scale policy decisions have to be made. Like rightly pointed out, what about vehicular emissions? Nobody's talking about it. The subsidy on diesel.
The
Uh,
Prime
you know,
Minister was so concerned, Saurav, about the emissions coming out of those mud chulhas. And he said that, oh, I've provided Ujjwala gas cylinders to all the women because I don't want to see tears in their eyes. Now, what is this? I mean, he can see the emissions coming out of the mud chulhas, but he can't see the clean air. And today also, by the way, the Prime Minister has tweeted about Fit India movement and eulogizing Anna Malai and Tejasvi Surya at that Ironman triathlon, and he talks about Fit India, but there is no mention about the clean air. What would you say to that, Saurav? And then I'll come for the concluding comments to Mr. Sood.
the air pollution for them is not a vote bank, so they are not getting any votes from that. So it's not on their high priority list, and now it seems like it's not on any of their lists, right? Because they've just left people to be. And yesterday at the protest there was an interesting sight. One of the police officers that I spotted had tear gas, to shoot at protesters. Of course, I don't think they made use of it. But when
Yeah.
Prime Minister says that you have, their own policemen here taking away people who are already choking in this air, ready to, tear their eyes with those guns. So, of course, there's a hypocrisy in what is being said and what is actually being done or not done.
Right. Okay, so very briefly, Mr. Sood, for the concluding comments, and then a short comment from Aranya also. What would you really say? Yes. Yes, Mr. Sood.
See, unfortunately, courts are not the solution. Bureaucracy is not the solution. Politicians are deaf. Institutional polluters are getting away by committing every crime. Individual citizens are being targeted. Just tell me one thing. Whatever is said in written in the graph 2, 3, 4, is it not the fundamental right of citizens to have those without even graph? Why there should be a graph 4? Why the provisions made in graph 2, 3, 4 should not be implemented on day in and day out basis? Who verifies whether the graph announced has been implemented on road ground or not, or those who are responsible for implementing grab are acting on it or not. So we don't have leaders, we have dealers, unfortunately today, because they are not dealing with the people, they are dealing with the institutional polluters. And mainstream media also is unfortunately silent on this issue. Everybody paints vehicles emissions are polluting. That's only 20%. From where 80% pollution is coming? Who is responsible for 80% pollution? So
Right.
there has to be pressure has to be mounted by people, youngsters like Saurabh and Anandya. More and more should come out. If not India Gate, let Jantar Mantar be flooded with the people, so that police doesn't have anything to say. Okay, now you are not there. There was a time in 2004. I did a demonstration without any police permission. I never knew that police permission is required. Still, at Vasant Kunj shopping mall, we did the protest. There were about 6,000 students in that protest. Not even one was questioned, leave alone taking away. Not even one student was questioned by police.
All
And
right.
what happened yesterday?
Right. All right. All right. So, okay,
So we
Aranya.
have
So,
our rights.
right. All right. So, but the question is, who's bothered about the fundamental rights? Aranya, your concluding comments, and then I'll close the show. You have to unmute yourself. Yes.
Yeah, no, I think I just like to, echo what Saurabh was saying. I think this is, since it's not a vote bank, people are not really making this a priority. But I think for the common citizens of Delhi and other states, it is a massive priority. And hopefully the government wakes up and does something about it, rather than just managing perceptions. And I just wanted to say, there are already reports in that an FIR has been now filed against those who protested yesterday against unknown persons because they violated the prohibitory orders. So if this is the way the government is going to react, I don't know if there is much hope.
I mean, can there be anything more unfortunate than this? That the people who are asking for the basic fundamental issue, like the right to breathe clean air, and there are FIRs being filed against those protesters. Can it get more bizarre than this? Look at these pictures, these innocent, silent protesters asking for clean air. Kiska saath, kiska vikas. They are taking a dig at the government and their approach towards environment. But what have they got in return? FIRs, detentions? Is this how we will get back our clean air? This is the question which needs to be pondered. I'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Mr. Anil Sood, Saurav, Aranya. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you.